Hello, it's week 3, Halloween-a-thon. Are we going to address this? Should I go on? No, I'm just kidding. Well, I've colored my hair drastically. I was just very sick of bleaching and then also having to color it. It was an all-day process when I would do that, and I started doing that about 10 years ago almost, maybe 9 years ago, and I just like didn't want to do that anymore, honestly. So this will be somewhat quicker when I have to touch it up, at least. And now I match my cats, which is really what everyone should be doing, matching their cats. This is why people color their hair, right? Anyway, it's Monday. I have finished this tiny book, Soft Ceremonies. This was a collection of 4 short stories. Oh, each of them terrible in a good way. I don't even know how to describe these. Gross, strange. The last one, I got a little bit of goosebumps, and I really enjoyed my time with this. I'm excited to pick up more from Filthy Loot and from these authors. It's like, now I'm like, oh, I need to seek out these authors and read more of their work. So this is, I don't always like anthologies, but it's like when I like them, I really like them, right? And this is a thing about anthologies. When they're good, it's like, oh, this is a way to discover authors, which is really nice, right? One thing I liked about each of these stories is that the endings are a little bit strange. In the beginning of this, there's a little note from the editor that says, "This is hopefully the only time as an editor I need to explain what you're about to read. Soft Ceremonies is one of those ideas that pass through your brain when you fall asleep. Ideas you're supposed to forget but are left with the vague, I was supposed to remember something feeling. In this case, the something was, what if A24 were to remake 80s SOV horror movies?" So definitely the vibes like that, especially the endings where they're not, I don't think ambiguous is the word necessarily, but just sort of unsettling, and almost like that feeling where you're about to, where you get to like the top of the staircase and you feel like there's supposed to be another stair there and there's not, and you know, you're stepping down like there's supposed to be a stair there and there's not, and you're just kind of like, you know, kind of that sort of feeling, but in reading. So I enjoyed this, and now I move on to Man Fuck This House, which was my most recent role. And I've also watched a couple things since I last checked in. I watched the newest installment of the VHS franchise, which was put onto Shudder. This one was VHS Beyond, which was like sci-fi VHS, and the reviews I've seen of this have been really like, either people liked it or they didn't, and I fell onto the liked it side of the spectrum, which I was glad for, because the last one, I think it was VHS 85, I don't know, I'd have to look through and see which ones were on that again to jog my memory, but I don't, just like as a whole, I didn't really like that one very much. But this one, I think that all of them were good. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that, like, aliens are very spooky to me. So that was an added bonus. So it's like, if you don't like sci-fi horror and if you don't like aliens, probably this isn't going to be a VHS movie that you like, more than likely, because this one is like supposed to be sci-fi horror. Like all of the like shorts in this anthology are sci-fi horror. I will say though that, you know, these movies, they have like the shorts in them, and then there's supposed to be this like interconnected, like, why are we watching all of these kind of a thing. And like in the first one, for example, it's like, I think it's the first one, these people are breaking into this house and they find all these movies and they're like watching them, right? And that's the like premise. And in this one, I didn't really like that part of it, but all the shorts were really good. So I really liked this VHS Beyond. And then last night I watched Jacob's Ladder, which I have seen before, but not for a very long time. And I really didn't remember it. Like there was one scene when I was rewatching it again where I was like, oh yeah, I think I remember this part, but really nothing about rewatching it jogged my memory except for like one particular scene. And it's long, and it's one where you have to pay attention, I think, but it was good and it was sad. And it's one where you're like, okay, so what really happened then? And does any of this make sense? I don't know. I don't know what I'm watching tonight, but that is my check-in for today. I'm going to start this book, and it's really fucking hot in here. It's still not cooled down. I keep checking the weather app, and it's like, you know, the most recent 10-day from now day will pop up, and it'll be like 88 degrees, and I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, weather gods. And then like that day will keep moving up, and it'll be like 90 degrees, 92 degrees, 98 degrees, 100 degrees, and you're like, why? It's just like, it just doesn't stop. So it's been very hot here, and it doesn't seem to ever get closer to cooling down. So, talk to you tomorrow. Good morning, my friends. Good morning. I'm still in my sweaty gym clothes. Salem's here. Come here, Salem. Salem. Look, him and I match now. Matchies. Good morning. It is Wednesday. Is it no, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Week 3. Week 3? Yes, week 3. Ow, Salem. Your claws. Meow. I haven't fed the cats yet, so they're all being annoying. Oh, you can hear them, their cries of starvation. It's been 12 hours since they've fed last, mother. My God, you guys. I haven't finished Man, Fuck This House. I've read about 50 pages at this point. Yesterday, I read about 50 pages. I think it's like 48. Maybe. Salem, please. Leave the tripod alone. I'm enjoying it so far. It's a little bit quirky, a little bit funny. Some strange happenings in the house. I will say though, I think there are some unnecessarily out of a normal person's vocabulary words being used, and it's like, do those need to be used? It just doesn't fit the rest of the story, you know what I mean? Is there a term for that? I feel like there might be. I need to look it up. But that's kind of annoying when I'm like having to use a dictionary. It's almost like reading a Cassandra Clare novel, but in that, like, that fits in with her writing and that makes sense. And in this, it's like what does vagres mean? I don't know. There was another one that started with an N that I didn't know. There was like 3 words in like the first 50 pages where it's like, what is the fucking definition of this word? And like, I have a pretty good vocabulary. Not to sound braggadocious, but you know, why am I having to look up these words? It just doesn't fit in with the rest of the novel. So that's one complaint that I have. But otherwise, you know, I'm enjoying the novel. I do like the characters. There's a strange little boy in this who's... I can't quite get a read on him yet. He seems to be code switching a lot. Anyway, I did realize also that because I've not had physical copies of these, well, I do have a physical copy of this, but I listened to an audiobook of it. I finished it, The Nest by Gregory A. Douglas. I reread it using an audiobook, and I liked it. This is a great killer bug story. There are cockroaches on this New England island, result of... Hold on. Is this an email I've been waiting for, I hope? Jesus Christ, I hope so. Zach's birthday is in September. I ordered him this shirt for his birthday in September. His birthday's in the middle of September. And this shirt should have been able to make it to us by his birthday. It was a pre-order, but the shirt said it would ship in August. And I ordered it before it was supposed to ship. And still it is not fucking come to me. And I've been like emailing this fucking company because it's like the storefront isn't even the person who I'm supposed to be contacting apparently. So I've been like dealing with this thing and it's like, oh, we're so backed up, I'm so sorry. And it's like, that's not, I'm sorry, but like that is not my problem. And not to be a fucking Karen about it, but like maybe also it's me taking these business classes and realizing you shouldn't be taking on more business than you can handle is what it comes down to. And if you can't handle that, you should not be taking orders for things. Not to sound callous, but this is also not like a small business. You know, if it was, then maybe I would be more sympathetic to that. Like, for sure, I would be way more sympathetic to that. I would be like, no problem, I understand. But this is not a small business. This is a company that I found out does not have a very good reputation, and it's probably somebody I wouldn't be ordering from, except for that I don't know that I'm ordering from this company because I thought I was ordering from somebody else, and then it turns out, I don't know, it's just been this fucking thing. Anyway, cockroaches, mutated cockroaches killing people, vicious, gnawing, biting with their pheromones, and this is a great story. It was funny, I went to log this into my Goodreads and I saw that my review from the last time I read it was something about how every time a woman in this book does something, they're just like, good job, which is kind of true. It is kind of true that they do that. Not in a gratuitous way, but they do kind of do that. They're like, oh, look at you. Oh. It's kind of funny. And then also, I listened to this weekend, actually in like one afternoon, I listened to Guillotine by Delilah S. Dawson. This was offered to me as a choice from Libro FM last month as one of the ALCs through that program, and I really liked this. I don't think it was quite a 5-star for me, not like a super duper like bury this with me in my grave book, but I really enjoyed this. This was about a young woman named Des who is in a program for fashion. Like, that's what she wants to do. She wants to get into like couture fashion, and she is struggling to make the transition from like school to a career, because what do you do when you don't have the like experience requirements to get a job in this track? She takes an approach that is a little bit unorthodox, because she happens to meet a young man who she's a little bit repulsed by. However, he is the son of a woman who works for a fashion magazine, and she's like, if I can woo this man for long enough to meet his mother. Like, perhaps I can get into this fucking magazine. But he is repulsive, basically. He's just one of those people who have never heard the word no, really, in their lives. And, ugh. But she makes it long enough to get invited to, like, a family gathering. And she's like, yes, this is my moment. But this family gathering is on an island. And once she gets to this island, it's, like, really weird and seclusive. Seclusive? Is that the word? Secluded? Am I blending two words together in a weird way? Now my brain is feeling like I am. She can't get off the island easily. It's like by boat only. She has to sign an NDA. It's very weird. Her like cell phone is confiscated because this family is very wealthy and they're kind of fucking weird. And so things start to go wrong like very quickly on this island. And this was a very fun and interesting and kind of gross and sad story, but I really did enjoy this a lot. It was a fun one, very fast paced, hard to put down. I just wanted to keep reading it, and you know, I wanted to know what was going on. This is definitely one I'm going to be buying to add to my collection. Very enjoyable. Those are the audiobooks that I've listened to lately. And then what did I watch last night? I watched a movie. It was really long. I liked it. Oh yeah, Jesus Christ. I watched this movie called The Devil's Bath. It was an Austrian movie, I believe. Or it takes place in Austria. Oh, this movie. It was like so like emotionally troubling. It's about this young woman named Agnes, and she gets married. She moves like out of her community, not like super far, but you know, far enough that she's out of her community, and her husband and her new mother-in-law, they're just like they're not very like loving people. They're not hateful. They don't like harm her physically, but they're just like kind of emotionally picking away at her, and she seems like she's not super resilient, and it just oh boy, this movie picked away at me emotionally. Oh, I don't want to give too much of it away because it was like, it's like folk horror-y, but also there are these like deeply religious tones to it, especially towards the end when, you know, you discover the like what's exactly happening, and it is really a bummer. It's a real bummer movie, but one that I really, really enjoyed. Very fucking sad though. Oh god, very sad. And very excellent acting. The woman who played Agnes. Oh, there's this scene at the end that I think I'll never get out of my head. So that's what I have to share for right now. If I have some time to read, maybe I'll check in a little bit later. Actually, I will give myself a little bit of time to read before I start my homework and stuff today. So maybe I'll check in a little bit later once I've got a little reading done. Let you know what's going on with that book. Check in, check out, check in, check out, check in, check out. Hello, I just need to stop in again. I read about 30 pages earlier, but I need to read this part too because I thought it was really funny. Thought it was fucking hilarious, honestly. Okay, the sister in this is like a kind of bitchy 12-year-old. Sorry, I'm gonna take off my slippers. And the son is, I believe, 10, and he's kind of weird. He's like very smart, but he's trying to convince his mother for some reason that he's psychotic or psychopathic, I guess. And I don't know why, because he's like also a little bit upset that she thinks this about him. So he's like playing into this like idea that she has of him, but also he doesn't like that she has this idea, but he's like perpetrating this idea. So that doesn't really make sense to me. So it's like, I feel like that these personalities make this part maybe even a little bit funnier. So that's why I felt the need to explain that to you before I read this passage. The Haskin siblings had a long-standing Halloween tradition of wearing matching outfits. Over the years, they'd been Sid and Nancy, Ronald and Nancy, Jeff Gillooly and Nancy. Damien enjoyed the latter one because he got to wear a sparkling figure skating outfit, and everyone at school looked appropriately horrified when a ski-masked and mustachioed Michaela rushed out of the locker room and pretend smashed him in the knee with a telescoping baton. And then later it goes on. They're not sure what to be for Halloween this year. What about Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell? Michaela asked, pausing in front of a rack of truly terrifying political masks. Damien cringed. Can't I go as someone who isn't named Nancy this year? Why? We're running out of Nancys. They're not the most notable people. Michaela's eyebrows knitted together briefly. Then she smiled. We haven't done Nancy Grace and Casey Anthony. Will there be a blood-drenched baby doll involved? Duh. Damien stuck out his pinky. Deal. So they're just being Nancy's, where Damien is the Nancy, which is maybe what's the most fun about this idea. So silly. So I just wanted to share that with you. I have to get back to my homework. Hello, it is the next day. What day is it? Wednesday. I don't know why my days of the week have been so messed up this week. I think it's because I did not go to the gym on Monday, which is so weird. And then we did all our Monday stuff yesterday. And now I've been, but then I've been thinking, not that it's like a day behind, but then I'm a day forward, which doesn't make sense. Anyway, I'm very close to being done with Man Fuck This House. I've got about 30 pages left. I need to go pick my child up. She went to the park after school with her friends, and so I've got about 45 minutes before I need to go pick them up. So I'm thinking I could probably bust that out before then. I'm hoping so. I am really enjoying this. It's kind of goofy, not very scary. I like the little boy in this. He's kind of a little fucking freaky weirdo. Yeah, so I just wanted to check in and say that. I've been working really hard the last 2 days. Ew, do I have, it's like I have a big crusty here. Gross. To finish. I'm officially finished with the schoolwork portion of my personal finance class, the bane of my existence the last 7 weeks. I have my final next week. I'm done. I mean, I'm very nervous about the final because the quizzes have been terrible and confusing. I don't know where I'm supposed to find the information around the quizzes. Where is this information? I'm reading the textbook and it's not in there, so anyway, so there's that. Good afternoon. Again, once more, it's me waiting for my child while she does a nice helpful chore for her grandmother's friend, helping her with some cat chores because she's going through chemo and she's not supposed to be doing cat chores with the cats and stuff like that. So we do this twice a week. And usually I read, but I did finish Man Fuck This House. And you know what? I found it to be quite delightful. A little bit different than your average haunted house story. A little bit of a sad ending. A little like Baba Yaga action almost. And I liked it. Actually, kind of
almost more than I was expecting. Not like my favorite book in the universe, but yeah, one that I liked. And now I'm gonna go home and fly. And I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna roll my dice and see where they bring me. I had to take a Benadryl before. I didn't even think about it like a couple minutes before I left. And I was like, oh shit, we have to go to this. Fuck, I took a Benadryl. You need to hurry up so I don't become drowsy while I'm operating machinery. Because I don't know, just got like random hives all over my back. I'm just allergic to everything. No food allergies, luckily, but just like everything else. My cats, my dog, everything else in existence. Almost. Jesus. I don't even know what caused this. I just got itchy on my back and there were hives everywhere, and now it's like my neck's kind of itchy. My head is kind of itchy. I'm just generally itchy. I'm sure in my videos I'm like always fucking itching everything. So anyway, I will roll my dice when I get home and let you guys, well, I think I'll record that, roll my dice and let you in on the secret of what my roll is. So see you in a few minutes.
Hello again. So this is the this is only as far as I've made it so far. Isn't that crazy? 3 weeks. 3 weeks of rolls. I'm not sure how many rolls I've made. Maybe like 10? I don't know. Anyway, I'm not gonna set my camera up for any trick shots. I'm just gonna roll down here. Oh yeah, before I do that, last night I watched the original Ghostbusters. I'm gonna put that card, I just picked it off the top of my stack. I'm gonna put that card back into my pile because that's one where I'm going to continue to watch the franchise if I pick the card again. It's been so long since I've seen those, and also I haven't watched anything but the original 2. There's 2 originals, right? There's the first and the second. That's what I've seen. That's my point. Okay, I rolled a 6. Making big moves here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Everyone, I finally landed on, I didn't land on a candy spot or an activity spot, but I did land on a trick-or-treat spot, which is my like choose your own adventure spot. So I'm gonna mix up my activity cards and pull one. Paint spooky rocks. Okay. You know what? I might change this a little bit. My daughter actually picked, she got like a little set from Target that has, they're like wooden blocks. And there's one she hasn't done, so I think I'm gonna ask her if I can paint that last one. And if she says that's okay, I think I'm gonna do that. If not, then I will paint a spooky rock. And then maybe I'll put this back in and paint spooky rocks. I don't know. Maybe I'll leave it out and see how many of these get chosen. And if it comes to it, then I'll paint spooky rocks. So yeah. That's what I'll be doing. I'm gonna watch a movie tonight, of course. That's been such a good time. I've really watched some great movies so far. Possession, The Devil's Bath. I keep thinking about that. It was really a slow burn, but such a great movie. I really have, like, not heard people talk about it, but like that's a movie I'll buy a copy of, I think. Jesus Christ, that movie emotionally hurt me and emotionally harmed me. Okay, so I'm gonna paint a spooky block maybe, if Lavia's okay with it. Otherwise, paint a spooky rock out of our rock garden. I don't know. We just have a pile of rocks in a flower bed. Okay, well, talk to you tomorrow. Hello, everyone. It's Thursday. I've been working on my little wooden block ghost. Not sure what I'm going to paint his body, what color, his or her body. maybe green, if there is green. I was gonna do orange, but Lavi used all the orange on one of the other ones. Oh yeah, there's enough green. That'll be cute. So I just wanted to work on this and talk to you about the book I've been reading. I picked this yesterday, All Hail the House Gods by Andrew J. Stone. I'm about 60 pages into it. Read a little last night, and I read a little this morning. This is a very delicate procedure. As you can see, they gave me a small paintbrush, but one that, I don't know, maybe the body won't be so hard, but the dog, I shut the dog in the kitchen, and she is not pleased with me. But she's like chaos incarnate, so sometimes she needs to be in the kitchen for 30 minutes, and she will be okay. Anyways, so I've been reading this book. It's weird. It reminds me a little bit of Brave New World, which is a book that I love a lot, and actually a book that I would like to reread sometime. It's one that I've reread a couple times. One that I read for the first time when I was probably 12 or 13, and I've read it a couple times since. A weird dystopian novel by Aldous Huxley, and one where society is very free about sex. And in All Hail the House Gods, society is also very free about sex, but it is for procreation, because society wants these people to procreate because they need food for these giant man-eating houses. So people do not live in houses any longer. They live in tents. I'm not sure why tents don't eat people, but houses do. There was something called the House Wars. I've not gotten to any part of the book where they explain exactly what that was or when that happened, but in present day in the book, children are raised away from their families after they're born, and like in Brave New World, they're taught to view sex much differently than our society does, and at a very young age they are, like, I guess, married to each other, and, you know, like, encouraged to start having children and basically, like, have a child a year. And every day there is a lottery, and a child who is being raised separately from their parents is sacrificed to these house gods. And they see it as an honor, though. It's not supposed to be a scary thing until one parent in this story realizes that, oh wait, this is not right. And so that's the crux of the story. I'm enjoying it so far. It is interesting. And another thing that is reminding me a little bit of Brave New World is that the author uses, you know, kind of made up terms for certain things in the book. You know, there is lots of talk about sex in the book, so if that's something you don't like, I mean, it's not like, I don't know, it doesn't come off as sexy though. You know, like, it doesn't seem like that is the intent. I guess, oh shoot, I guess because it's like I don't know, like, they are not programmed to see this only as procreation, but they know that they are supposed to be procreating. This paint is a little bit, this green paint is a little bit gloppier. It's glooping up my paintbrush. Get a nice smooth line on here. Oh well, I mean, this is just a fun little $5 craft or some shit like that. It's hard to get in between these letters. I keep accidentally greening up my purple. And then last night, I was gonna watch Suspiria, the 2008 remake, or 2018 remake, because I haven't seen that. And I do like the original Suspiria, and I also like Tilda Swinton and Mia Goth. And so I've been wanting to watch the newer one, and I just haven't. And so I pulled it from the top of my stack, and I went to watch it, but I didn't realize it was like 2.5 hours long, and I was like, oh my god. So I just couldn't fit that into my night, because I wake up at 4:45 every morning, and I just can't watch a movie that long on a night, on a weekday night. I have to plan that out, and I just didn't for that night. So then I was like, fuck, what do I watch? And since I had started a 7-day subscription to something to watch Ghostbusters for free the other night, I was like, oh, I should see what's on there in case there's something interesting before my trial is up. And I saw that the new Strangers movie, what is it? Strangers Chapter 1 was on there, and I was like, okay, like, I feel pretty ambivalent about the Strangers. Like, I liked the first Strangers movie. The first time I watched it, I was like, this is spooky. But then watching it again, it's like, I feel like the novelty of it is gone, right? It's like, I know all your tricks. And I know people really like that movie, and that's okay. But for me, it's like, I know what's gonna happen, and I guess it's just a home invasion movie. And then the second Strangers movie, I did not appreciate it at all. But I decided to watch this anyways. I thought it was terrible. I thought it was absolutely abysmal. It was so boring. It's just the same formula. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's the same formula. It's a home invasion movie. They're just running away from the people in the same masks. They didn't even say the line right? Like, there's the part where she's like, why are you doing this? And the lady in the baby doll mask, or the lady in the, I don't know, flapper mask, whatever they call it. She's got a little cutesy, like, Betty Boop face. She says, because you were here, which is not the line. The line is because you were home, right? So it's like they didn't even do that right. It's just so frustrating. And I thought that this was supposed to be like a prequel, but it turns out it's supposed to be the first in like a reboot trilogy from what I read, and that they've already filmed the rest of them, and they were supposed to be like straight to streaming and stuff. So it's like, oh, the quality is not gonna get any better. Why even make these? It was done by the director who did Deep Blue Sea, which I do like. I do like that movie, but I don't like. Probably shouldn't have watched this one, and I for sure am not watching any others. Oh, I wish this green paint wasn't so chunky. Here's my green ghost. Well, there's my activity. Maybe I should roll my dice quick. I'll go grab my board, hold on. Cinco. Bat. Bats and cats are novellas. I didn't bring my cards. Let me go get my cards. What's next? This, I had no hand in this, but that works out perfectly because then I don't have to be like, ah! Okay, well, all hail the house gods. No problemo. Oh, I got paint on this. Okay. Well, I will be working on finishing this. I'm almost halfway through it. It's only 130 pages. I'm on page 63 right now. Easy to read, really interesting so far. And I'm really interested in seeing how this goes, because the parents, like I said, they realize now what's going on is like they don't like it. So what are they gonna do about it? Okay. Hopefully I don't have broccoli on my teeth. I just ate a shitload of broccoli. What if I was talking this whole time with broccoli? What do they call the little pieces of broccoli stuff? What if I had broccoli teeth this whole time? Ooh. Okay, I will finish this book. It's Thursday. I do have to finish my psychology homework. Hopefully today or tomorrow. Hopefully today, but if not tomorrow. And really, I'm hoping I finish it today because I really want to, like, do a really huge, big clean in my house, because it's been a little neglected with my homework being what it's been like recently, you know? Because honestly, I do the basics, but there's been shit that's definitely been put to the wayside. That's okay. You know, it is what it is. But I will talk to you when I finish this book. Have a great spooky day. I just had this really awkward experience at Dutch Bros. I was getting some caffeine there, and I decided to walk up instead of going through the drive-thru because I was using cash, you know? Hold on one second. I was using cash, so I didn't want to go through the drive-thru because I feel like I just didn't want to be an inconvenience, because then the, you know, I don't know, cashier? The person who takes your order has to walk back and forth, I think. I don't know, I've never used cash in the drive-thru. So, if you've never, I know Dutch Bros isn't everywhere, so there are 2 lanes you go through, and someone is standing there someone is standing there and they take your order, like, not at like a speaker, you know, it's like a person standing outside taking your order. So usually they have, you know, the little, I don't know, what do they call it? You know, you can tap your card, put your card in there. I don't think that they carry money on them usually. They usually have like an iPad, right? So it's like, oh, I'm just not going to be an inconvenience. I'll park and walk up. I had Sabby in the car, so I had to park not like super far away, but like kind of, I don't know. It's in the complex where there's like a hardware store and stuff like that. So I had to park like a little bit, like not in the Dutch Bros parking lot. So I was also like, I want to keep an eye on Sabby. I don't know if she's ever been in the car like alone before either. Luckily it was nice and cool this morning, so I didn't have to like worry about her. But anyway, my point is, I had this really awkward thing happen where I put my order in, I was waiting for it, I was sitting at one of the like picnic tables they have outside, like one of the ones furthest away from the window, so I could watch my car and my dog. And I overhear someone go up to the window and say that they're there for an interview basically. And then 2 employees come out to meet this person, and they come to the table that I'm at and they give me just a look, and then they sit down at the table I'm at. And I was like, okay, I guess I have to leave then. Even though there was another table there. It was just really weird, and also a weird thing for like the employees conducting the interview, because I'm assuming like one of them has to be a manager or something, right? And they weren't ever like, hey, may we please use this table, or do you mind getting up, or anything. They didn't address me at all. They just looked at me, and then I left because it was so weird. So that was my weird, like, super weird. And like, I was thinking about it, and it was like, I should have said like, excuse me or something, but my brain was trying to process how fucking weird it was that nobody said anything to me. And like, what a weird not Dutch Bros thing, because if you've ever been to a Dutch Bros, sometimes like I really like their coffee and like their protein coffee and their sugar-free Rebels. I love them so much. But sometimes I'm like, ooh, I do not have the mental capacity to go there right now, because I know they're going to talk to me, because they just talk, right? And it's like such a not Dutch Bros thing to do, to like go there and have bad customer service. That just like doesn't happen. So this is just very strange. So weird. Anyway, that was my weird thing that just happened to me. I have about like 20 pages left in All Hail the House Gods. I really wanted to finish it last night when I was reading it, but it was like a little past when I needed to go to bed. I'm going to eat some breakfast because I should have done that like way long time ago and I didn't. And I should really do that before I have more caffeine. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to finish this, and then I'm gonna check back in with you. I'm really enjoying this so far. It's so weird. Of course, I've been, you know, kind of sharing some spoilers. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, be gone from this. But they're talking to the house gods. And some of the house gods don't want to eat people, but like they're also not stopping the other house gods from eating people. And like, I just want to know like what the fuck is going on with the house gods, and I'm really just confused about, or not confused, but interested in the concept of house gods in general. Like, how did this come to be that some houses became sentient? And it's like the house gods build other house gods. And some of these good house gods are building other house gods that are also good. And the founding house gods are not good house gods, and those are the ones that eat people. So it's very, this is like really interesting. And yeah, I don't know. I've never read anything like this. It's so bonkers and really interesting. I don't know. I can't wait to finish it. I don't want to look, but I can't wait to finish it and let you guys know what it's all about. So, catch you in a few minutes. Hello, I was just talking to my camera for like probably 30 seconds. It's okay, it wasn't that long. Without it, it wasn't recording. But anyway, I finished All Hail the House Gods. I've talked about what this is about. I don't have to go into it again, I know. Anyway, this was excellent. I really enjoyed this. This is one of those books where it's like, I've never read a book like this before. It's a horror book about houses, but it's not a haunted house horror book. It was just really great and weird, and I'm so glad that I found a copy of this for cheap. I found this on Pango. Now we're moving on with our day. I also have to talk about a few other things. I've been listening to, I think it's called Cult Following by J.W. Ocker. This is a nonfiction book that was available through Libro.fm, the ALC program, this month. It's about cults, and so I was like, oh, that's kind of good for spooky season, kind of nonfiction spooky. I'm always kind of trying to find nonfiction spooky stuff that fits into this too. So I've been listening to that. It has been talking about some cults that are not like huge things, you know. It's not going over the basics, which I appreciate, you know. At the point I'm at right now, they are going over People's Temple, so Jim Jones, which is like, I know about that. I don't like hate going over it again, but What I appreciate though is that we're not just going over Charlie Manson, People's Temple, what was the Nike's one? Heaven's Gate, you know, all the heavy hitters over and over again, because it's like, we get it. I mean, some people are new to this and they haven't heard about all these over and over again. But I've been involved in true crime stuff since I was too young to be, you know, doing this stuff, because my mom also liked true crime. So I was reading her books and watching Forensic Files and Unsolved Mysteries. I've heard all that shit before, you know, extensively for years. I feel like I know the fine details. So I'm glad that it's delving into things that I haven't heard of extensively. So I'm listening to that, and also, like, fucking weeks ago, I totally forgot. I tried listening to A Botanical Daughter by Noah Medlock. I need to just take it off my shelf, because I listened to... Oh, why is this bookmark stuck in here? Just like binding glue? Uh-oh. The glue from the binding is like stuck. Okay, well, I'm not gonna do that right now. Maybe I'll have to heat it up. I listened to a few hours of this on the audio. I'm not sure where that got me in the book. I don't know, it doesn't matter, but I just wasn't digging it. I returned the audiobook to the library, and I'm trying to go through some of these books where it's like, I don't know for sure if I'm gonna like this, and I'm trying to not let them just then sit on my shelf for forever. So I, you know, like this one. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like that. I don't even know why. I don't even know what it was. Maybe it's the cover, maybe it's that it's a sort of Frankenstein-y thing going on. Not that it's like not all Frankenstein-y things I don't like, but something about this one, maybe it's I don't know. It just wasn't speaking to me when I got it. And then when I was listening to it, I also just wasn't enjoying the vibe. It's like a Victorian-y feeling. There are two men in this who are partners. One is a botanist and one is a taxidermist. And I don't know, they don't really seem like they like each other very much. They're very much involved in their work, which is okay. But they don't really seem interested very much in each other. And one of them gets he's found this interesting species of, here we go, a fungus. That's exactly what it is. It's a fungus, but it also has like a flowering orchid on it somehow, I don't know. And then, you know, they have young people who come help out, but they're also like very secretive about what they're doing even before this whatever weird thing happens with, obviously they are able to make this fungus work with a corpse in some way. I'm assuming that's how like the taxidermy and the botany comes together, right? So they already kind of have this idea, I think, well, at the point where I am in the book. So I don't know. I just wasn't really digging like the vibes of the book with the characters and all that, and I'm just not trying to linger on with stuff, because sometimes I do that when I shouldn't anyway. And is that all I have? Oh yeah, I got a roll. Maybe I'll just set up my little step stool here. 5 again. Pumpkin. That's a movie. Also, last night I watched Frontiers, which is I don't know what year that is, maybe like mid-2000s, a French movie, kind of coming off the like French extreme, you know, movies like Inside and Martyrs and High Tension. But this one, I know I've seen it before, but it's been a long time, and I have a DVD of it, so I watched that last night. I picked it from the top of my pile, and it's an okay one. Very bloody, of course, in the style. of the style, and it's about this young woman who is kind of in a group of thieves, like young thieves, and she is escaping from France. They're trying to get to Amsterdam, and they stay, well, the group splits up. The first group goes to this hostel, and then she's in this second group, and they're supposed to meet them there, but they find out that the people running like the hostel are kind of fucking weirdos, and like chaos ensues, kind of like the Hostel movies before the Hostel movies. I think maybe it came out before Hostel, but not exactly like people paying to torture people, but the people who run the hostel are weird. All right, so Frankenweenie. Perfect. Well, actually, I don't know if I will have time to watch this with Lobby, because maybe when she first gets back, maybe we'll just watch the short that Frankenweenie the Full was based on, because Lobby has plans with her grandma tonight, with Zach's mom. They're gonna go see a Hansel and Gretel ballet, which should be fun. One of her grandma's business, she's a massage therapist, and she used to do like couples massages sometimes with a woman who is in like the local ballet company. So she goes and watches her do ballet once in a while. Lobby goes and does that, so they like to do that. She's gonna go do that. It's Hansel and Gretel. It seems like it'll be fun. So Frankenweenie, I haven't seen either of them. I haven't seen the short or the long, so that will be fun. Okay, well, that's it for me. I'm gonna pick out another novella. Actually today, right now, I need to do a bunch of cleaning and finally finish the vlog I've been editing all week. Very bits and pieces-y. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye.
Good morning. We watched Frankenweenie last night. We opted for the short one, the original, which is very cute. It's black and white, had Shelley Duvall in it, and I'm pretty sure the boy from Neverending Story. I didn't look it up, but I'm pretty sure that's who that was. So this one was live action long before the little claymation one came out. So that was really cute. I also watched the 2018 Suspiria last night, which was very long, but really, really good. I really liked that. I think I might like it more than the original Suspiria. Can I say that? Am I gonna be arrested immediately? It was really good. Less ballet, more like interpretive dancing almost. Very like, almost like animalistic kind of. Super good. It had Dakota Johnson in it, and Mia Goth and Tilda Swinton. It was so good. So I loved that, and since I finished Frankenweenie, I'm going to roll. I did kind of start The Bed Makers by Chad Lutzke and John Bowden yesterday, but I didn't get really far enough into it to where it's like, if I roll a novella, I'm gonna like read that first. So let's just see where this roll goes. Oh my god, went past another candy. Pumpkin is a movie anyway. Let's see. The Guest. Okay, I love that movie. So that's what I'll be doing today. It is Saturday. This is the last week three vlog. I need to finish editing my week 2 vlog and then do my week 3 vlog. Okay, well, that's it for this week. I will see you next week. Goodbye.